Okay, so throughout the years, I've put together a few engines, and this last one was completely built in home. Everything. I bought the tool from Comp Cams, drilled and tapped, removed the old stud bosses with the tool, brought the stud bosses down, ARP studs, guide plates, the crankshaft I polished myself, did a little bit of just, grinded a little bit of the flashing cash off, the casting flash off. So here's the pistons out of the engine. My video that I ain't got no rev limiter, we ain't got no rev limiter. I press these piston pins in. I got a few comments saying, "Oh, you wrecked them." They're not. They're perfectly fine. I just took this out to 7,000 RPMs at the drag strip a few weeks back. But few key things to discuss. I have Crower roller rockers. Stuff like that is the difference. So without these, I don't think at 7,000 RPMs, I think any cheaper rocker arms of less quality would have probably just something would have broke at those RPMs. Hardened push rods, but I did most of it, the rest of it at home. Do the Vortec heads, a little bit of part work, and they say you can't use roller rockers with the Vortec heads because of valve covers. Well, just pull the fucking stupid bridge fucking things out. No big deal. What I'm getting at is, you don't need to spend a boatload of money. You can do this stuff at home. Take your time, get some, 3,000 grit sandpaper and polish the frickin' crank. When you remove your crankshaft, polish it. That's just oil from, polish everything, dude. I polished the lifter bores, the connecting rods, So this is what I'm putting my friend Sydney's engine together. I just did all his connecting rods, weigh everything. All the connecting rods are within 1 gram of each other weight, and I took off I want to say 23 grams off of each connecting rod. So these are Sydney's connecting rods. They were the old school. They had the big square top when I started. I used sanding, well, just whatever you can put together, whatever sand you got. Pretty aggressive sandpaper to start with. Then you finish off with finer grit, and then make sure you get them close. Weigh everything. I've got a triple beam scale from a thrift store. It works. It has a dial for to weigh grams. So here's all the pistons that were out of the engine. I just took down the track a few weeks back. 7,000 RPMs. There's nothing wrong. Not one thing wrong. Why did I take it back apart? Well, because I'm building something a little bit better. I got these Icon pistons, these Eagle connecting rods. So the Eagle connecting rods, they're within a half a gram of each other out of the box. When you take your small block Chevy apart, weigh everything. Disassemble, press the piston pins out. Weigh the rods. Some rods are like 15 grams heavier than the other ones. It's crazy. Like I said, the crankshaft, you could take it to a machine shop, that's fine, but you could do it at home too, So right here you can see, I just took an angle grinder and very, very carefully just knocked the casting flash off of the crankshaft. You're not going to change your balance on it, Just a little bit, Right here, casting flash, knocked it off, knocked that off. It's all these little tiny things. All the little things add up, The heads, like I said, disassembled them, pulled the studs out. And at first I put those Chinese frickin' studs. Don't use those. Some things you have to have top quality parts. Rocker arm studs, ARP. Nothing else. Don't even bother with anything else. You'd be fucking pulling broken studs out. These connecting rods, these are factory small block Chevy connecting rods. With the frickin', with all the casting and the square top and everything. Grind them down, but we'll weigh them out, Weigh the pistons individually. Weigh the pins individually. Some pins some pins have a fat wall. Some pins don't have a fat wall. They're thinner. But you could do it at home. Machine shop. Yeah, if you can afford it. Yeah. But You know, I couldn't afford it. I just, basically, I did this to prove to myself it can be done. But like I said, some parts are quality. Those Crowler rocker arms, they're not cheap. They are not friggin' cheap. Yeah. But without them, there ain't no way in hell I was going to rev $7,000. Dude, I held second gear. When I hit third gear, I was crossing the finish line in the quarter mile. I mean, that thing was screaming, and it didn't sputter. It didn't roll over. It just was gaining speed. So my point is, you know, you could do this stuff at home. You know, the block, like I said, get with my finger, polished each lifter bore. You know, started off with like 350 and just went up, you know, to 600 and 1,000 grit. Polish everything you can. You know, make sure everything's super clean when you assemble it, spotless. You know, no dirt and no distractions. When you are assembling your engine, tell everybody to stay the fuck away, because you don't want distractions. You see right here where I just ground a little bit of the casting flash off this fucking crankshaft. It's a factory stock crankshaft, you know. Actually, I bought this from off of Craigslist off some guy in north of Tucson. But you know, I'm just some guy who built, you know, home built engines. No big deal. But you can do it, and it is. I mean, yeah. Like I said, the last time at the track and the time before that, this thing was. I was very pleased with myself. Put it that way. I'm not bragging. Whenever I'm just want you to understand that it's doable. You can't. So here's the block. Then I'm putting all this. So I got a scat crank. And I got those Icon rods, and there's Icon pistons, Eagle connecting rods. There's the full floating pistons. So all the haters that, you know, some people say I ruined when I did pressed in those other piston pins. Oh, they're wrecked. They're not wrecked. Take your time, do it, and if you know, good thing is practice. If you have a way to like take an old engine. So here's a piston ring, the top ring. So right now I'm gapping piston rings. In my last video I just showed you that, and my old school ass tool to file the piston ring end gap. Come on, people, look at this thing. This thing is a relic, but that's what I use, and it works. It's fine. Take your time, measure 10 times. You know, you don't have to spend a fortune. You don't have to have a, you know, super spectacular tools. It's really nice to have them, but you don't have to. You know, when I the connecting rods right here. I got this that thing. This is aluminum from something else, but you know, and then I press the pins in with this Harbor Freight press and the little thing to support the piston right here. Okay. Perfect. It fits on there perfect. You know, how much was the Harbor Freight press? That was something else. I was fucking around. It has nothing to do with broken. These are all the old pistons anyway. But yeah, Harbor Freight press, and just, you know. So what I use, I had a smaller wrist pin from Deanna's Xterra that I used to press the pins all the way out, and used to press them in, but to get to a certain point, you know. You can do it. You can do it, people. It can be done. You can do it at home. Don't be, you know, just have some faith in yourself. Take your time. You may screw up once, no big deal. You know, there's junk. Chevy V8s are everywhere for cheap. You know, really cheap. Everybody always asks me, you should go to LS. You should go to LS. That's not what I'm doing. I don't want to go LS. I'm sticking to old school Chevy, because it's, you know, it's hands on. You know, it's just everything's hands on with it. But I just want to let you guys know that. That's my input. Alright. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I'm up to 88 subscribers, man. It's like so simply stupid. It's hardly, I mean, compared to other channels, but hey, thank you for all you 88, man. Thank you. Alright. See you guys later.